Today, I'm giving you a tour of our new greenhouse. It's been about 3 months since we set it up and things are just going wild right now. We have extremely thriving tomato plants and zucchini plants, but we also have some frustrating problems like aphids and some mold on pumpkins and other issues that we didn't even think that we would have to deal with, like 95 degrees outside and pollination things. So let me show you how it is when you get started with a greenhouse, and maybe you can learn from us a little bit what to watch out for before you get your greenhouse or while you're setting it up. I know normally we're helping you choose a greenhouse or talking about foundations and other things, but I think for greenhouse beginners or someone who's just about to get one, it's really nice to get a glimpse of how it is when you get started. So let me show you around. Let's start with something positive. So stuff that is thriving and doing so well. Our tomato plants are really taking off right now. I come in here almost daily and put a new tomato clip on here, which is absolutely insane for me. When I planted them outside, there was nowhere ever such a growth happening. And overall, they're happy. I did just notice that there are some leaves getting a weird color, so I have to keep an eye on that. But overall, they're happy. And then we have our squash plants on the other side that also love the greenhouse very much. They are almost growing into the path, as you can see. My only issue is something I thought was really smart of me and didn't turn out so smart in the end. So my little transplants had very few leaves and they already developed all the flowers. So I took off the flowers so it would put all the nutrients and energy into growing the leaves and roots. Well, I must have taken off all the male flowers because there are none, or almost none now. Now they're starting to produce male flowers again, but it's really frustrating when you know, like, oh my goodness, I could have had more than I actually had in the end. So next time I will not do that again. But if you know what would have been better to do, please let me know, because next time I will definitely try another strategy there. Okay, let me actually switch the camera around and show you around. Then in the very back, we have some pumpkins and some cucumber and more pumpkin. Theoretically, it's not a good idea to have them all side by side, but I'm testing it. I wanted to have them trellis up the netting here. I'm hoping that it will hold. Might have to replace it with a more sturdy one though next season, but this is what I got this year. Speaking of the pumpkins, here's my little issue with the mold. It's mostly the one in the very back corner. I have to really add some more ventilation. I don't think it's enough to have just one fan going. I think we have to just have another one or a stronger one. Then I also planted some salad in between. That was really another experiment because it's already pretty hot here in Texas, but I love lettuce. I love harvesting it from the garden. I thought I might get another round in, and some are fine. I think they're a little more shaded by the house or the leaves. Others are just already starting to bolt or starting to grow taller rather than outward. And I may have been a little bit too early with the succession planting because I feel like the seedling is almost the same size as the other plant that is 2 months old now. I also planted some peppers in here in between. My spacing is definitely not the best one, so don't take that as advice. Please make sure you leave enough space for all of your plants. And on the other side, behind the tomatoes, I also planted some peppers right below the shelving because I'm testing whether or not I can still grow stuff under the shelving or not. This is really this year's trial and error thing. I'm already experiencing the issue of reaching things, so I think next year I'm gonna adjust this to something else, possibly. But this is what I'm doing right now. I also have a little bean plant in the back and some salad. And I planted some seedlings over here for beans, but they haven't really come out yet. And some basil in between or right around the tomato plants. When we installed the greenhouse, we moved a bunch of our potted plants from the outside inside, including some, I potted some pepper plants that I had in the ground and some eggplant as well. Well, some must have had aphids, or just one, who knows. But it did create a huge outbreak. I had it on a lot of seedlings of flowering plants that I just transplanted outside. I had it on all the eggplants, on the pepper plants specifically. So I can give you the advice, check your plants before you bring them inside the greenhouse, because it's really tough to get rid of them. I am checking them daily almost, just to make sure I'm staying on top of them. So if there's new ones, I'm gonna smush them right away or hose them off. It can get real crazy real fast. I did hear about ladybugs. I've tried them, but they escaped so quickly that I was really sad about it. So they just left the greenhouse altogether, and I can't possibly completely seal off everything. It's getting already so hot in here that I do need the ventilation inside the greenhouse. But yeah, keep that in mind. It happens. A greenhouse is not a foolproof, no pests ever. So make sure you still check your plants and prevent certain things, or spray right away as a preventative matter. Like I do with BT for my squashes. I don't want the squash vine borers coming in here. I also started some seeds here. There's some creeping thyme because I want to add that next to some paths and raised beds. I have the same issue with my seedlings that I have with my pumpkins. If I had more airflow in here, I think my seedlings would do a little bit better. I mean, they're not super bad, but they could be definitely better. It is what it is. I'll just have to add more ventilation. And please don't forget about the ventilation when you set up your greenhouse. We also have a solar exhaust fan that pulls the hot air out of the greenhouse. We also have an intake shutter vent on the opposite side, on the lower end, to pull in the cool air from that side. So it kind of circulates the air as well. It helps with it. We do have to still optimize it a little bit more. For example, I do believe we have to close the roof vents. And we might have to actually move the solar panels because they don't really get any sun in the early mornings, and it would be nice to start charging the batteries. Because at this point, it's often that when the sun is shining, it's absolutely great, it works out fantastically. But once there's clouds or the sun is moving, it's not working anymore. So we need to find a better spot for the panels and maybe get some better batteries, or maybe we don't have them hooked up right. We do have to figure this problem out very, very soon because temperatures are ramping up here in Texas. So this thing has to be working like a charm in a few weeks. All of this will be a topic of a new video coming up soon. So make sure to subscribe so you don't miss that one. Then in addition to that, we also really need a shade cloth because the Texas sun gets really, really intense. I mean, I'm sweating right now and it's not that hot in here, but it's just very intense, and even though there's airflow. So we're gonna need some shade cloth. We gotta put it on the exterior, and we're actually going to test the black, white, and reflective types of shade cloths. So if you're interested into that as well, please subscribe. And if you have specific questions for those topics, leave a comment below. We're always eager to hear them, and we would love to include the stuff that you're actually interested in seeing. I hope this gives you a little glimpse of what it is when you get started in a greenhouse, what things to consider, and I hope you learn a little bit from our mistakes, or actually also enjoy to see how our little mini greenhouse garden is thriving. Well, it's not so mini, it's actually quite big. Thanks y'all for watching, and catch you all later. Oh, and please leave a comment below with any questions that you might still have, or give me some compliments on how I've been doing, because this one was the first time in front of a camera for me. So let me know.